first and foremost, let me start by saying this. If you are 20 to 30 and you are not getting to it in this day and age, you just not getting to it. And I'm seeing people literally making $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 for a couple hours in an empty space. I'm like, yo, I need some of this. I'm working like my tail off trying to make this kind of money as a server.
Right.
When I get to shake the hands of families that I get to really touch, and they look at me and they're just like, yo, because of you, I made $25,000 a month with my event space, and I could send my daughter to a better school.
Wow.
One of my guys, Alex Harmozy, said, he's like, I'm not investing in the S&P 500, I'm investing in the SME 500. Because any dollar that I put into myself, I'm going to get back 10x, 100x, 1000x.
Yeah.
I spent over $220,000 on my personal development last year. It made me 1.3 mil.
Yeah.
Off one business.
Right.
Hey, wait. I know you want to watch this next video, but listen, if you are an entrepreneur, business coach, business consultant, or a small business owner who has a story and wants to learn how to create multiple streams of income from your story, I need you to text me right now, my book, to 646-687-4152. That is my personal number. I have been an author for over 12 years. I've written 10 books. 4 of them have been bestsellers, and I've sold over 100,000 books. But I've also helped a lot of my clients take their expertise and put it into a story, then create multiple streams of income from that. So I want to help you do the same thing. So text my book to 646-687-4152. All right, let's go back to the video. All right, so welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Vault with Ash Cash, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Listen, a 9-to-5 job can make you feel secure in life if you don't have big dreams. But for someone who wants to retire early while financially securing his family's future, a 9-to-5 job may not be the solution. What Jay said, 9 to 5 is how you survive, but I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to live it to the limit and love it alive. That's where my guy Billionaire B comes in. He can help. An accomplished entrepreneur and business coach, he is now helping people find financial independence through passive income streams. After creating a business empire in rented event space, real estate, Airbnb, and e-commerce, Brian is guiding others as a mentor to follow his footsteps. When I tell you this 27 multi-millionaire from New York City with big New York energy is going to give you the whole game, nothing but the game to help you grind. My guy Billionaire B is back in the building.
I already know what it is, man. Let's get it.
Let me tell you, right? So for those who didn't see the episode, we had, you, Ramel, Boone, all 20-something-year-old multimillionaires. I made a promise on that interview. I said, listen, man, I really want to do what I could do to amplify your voices. Boone has his own episode. I was like, I got to bring my guy Billionaire B back because you inspired me. I told you this behind the scenes, like, when I was 27, I was doing well, but I was doing well from a corporate perspective, right? Making 6 figures, a branch manager. But you, 27, made millions of dollars. People call you their mentor. Like somebody from my community was telling me how much you changed their life with the rental space and things of that nature. So I want to dig into all of that. But before we start, for those who don't know, who is Billionaire B?
Yo, what's good, y'all? My name is Brian Waldron, a.k.a. Billionaire B. I'm a 7-figure event space owner, been in the game for about 4 years now, and just blessed and highly favored to pour into your community right now, man. We changing lives daily.
Yeah. So talk to me about where you started, right? Because I believe that today, as people hear the sounds of our voice, this is the easiest time to make money ever in the history of making money. Like, there's never been a better time to make money. And when I say 27-year-old multi-millionaire, I don't know what people hear, but you've been in the game for 4 years, and you have a regular story. Tell me that story.
Yo, so first and foremost, let me start by saying this. If you are 20 to 30 and you are not getting to it in this day and age, you just not getting to it. Period, point blank, period. It has never been easier to make $1 legally nowadays, y'all. I had a 2.8 GPA in college. I went to college, had a 2.8 GPA because I come from a foreign background, right? So like they big on education, right? Go ahead and do that. Got fired from my first job because I couldn't get a corporate America job out of school. It was too competitive. I'm from New York. Everybody and their mom trying to get an accounting and finance degree, whatever the case may be. Got fired from my first job as a server. Got fired from my second job as a server. Got fired from my third job. And at this point, I'm just like, yo, the universe got to be trying to tell me something. Like, it's
you unemployable.
I'm not employable, but you know what I'm saying? And I
Yep.
felt like, yo, I got to make it happen. So I started working at a local event space because I had extra time during my off shifts as a server. And I'm seeing people literally making $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 for a couple hours in an empty space. I'm like, yo, I need some of this. I'm working like my tail off trying to make this kind of money as a server.
Right.
So I stacked up all my bread for a year, and I finally got my first event space in Bedford-Stuyvesant, New York.
Wow.
Bed-Stuy. Anybody who is from New York, Brooklyn, you know Bed-Stuy, right?
Bed-Stuy do or die.
Bed-Stuy do or die. You feel me? Respectfully. So I got my first space. I ain't make no money my first couple months because there was nobody teaching this. There's nobody sharing this type of information. And you know how it is in New York, bro.
Right.
You reach out to somebody and you're just like, yo, can you give me the play? How do I get into this? Everybody gatekeeping.
Right, 100%.
Nobody
Yep,
want
I
to
agree.
share information,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Nobody. Everybody think that like you trying to catch one up on them, whatever the case may be. So eventually I had to figure it out. I had my first $15,000 month about 3 months in. And then I was just like, all right, cool. I just needed to see it once.
Yeah.
I just need, because you know how it is as entrepreneurs. You see one thing and you just kind of keep
Facts.
angling, right?
100%, yeah.
And then I started going up with the rentals. I started getting more spaces until eventually I had my first $100,000 month. I had my first $100,000 month 2 years ago. And then now we up $3.5 million later.
Wow.
Just off renting space.
Wow. And break that down to me, right? Because you say out of all the real estate, that event space the best. So you saying wholesaling, fix and flip, storage, out-of-state real estate, buying homes. Like you, look, you said put it up. You say, yo, let's put the numbers up.
Put the numbers up for real. So think about it like this, right? You can go and get a commercial space on a website like Crexy, Craigslist, or LoopNet.com, right? Do a very, very minimum viable product. So you can I get spicy?
Get spicy, baby. Let's
So
go.
my first credit card was a Chase Income Limited credit card. I had a $15,000 limit, right? I asked them to bump it up. I had a $25,000 limit, right? Liquidated $25,000 credit card. There's tons of different ways to liquidate a credit card. Visa, debit, gift cards, MoneyGram, all those different things, right? Took the money off. I handed the landlord a portion for the moving costs. That's 1 month rent, 1 month security, and then I did a minimum viable product. So you're doing the bare minimum: floors, walls, lighting. That's it. Went to Fiverr, got a floor plan of the space, went on Canva, built a brochure of the space so people could see how it would actually look. And then instantly from that point on, people were like, all right, cool, like this could work, whatever. I'm pre-selling the space, putting it on Peerspace, putting it on Splacer, put it on Gigster, list out the space for upwards of $1,000 a night, $800 to $1,000 a night. People are booking it. I take that money that they're booking it from, come back and finish the space. So now I'm literally building out a space using other people's money. Like easily.
None of it is yours.
None of it is mine.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I feel like more people need to understand this is how the wealthy build wealth.
Right, 100%.
They use other people's money. If you're constantly cash strapping, you're never going to get to the next level.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? For you to change your situation, you got to change your situation.
Right.
So,
Yo, I was literally having this conversation with my team the other day, right? Put them on blast. And it's like literally, like talk about that concept, right? Because I want to talk about that concept of liquidating credit cards.
Yeah.
Right? Like somebody who has, because obviously you have to have a good credit score, right? So let's say somebody, let me just pull a number out. Let's say somebody has a 720 credit score, like a really good credit score. And they, like, what could they do with that?
absolutely. So, first and foremost, I would say the credit score is simply a reflection of the credit profile, right? So you want to have a strong credit profile, right? You want to have good new inquiries. So you want to have less than about 4 to 6 inquiries within the past 2 years, right? You want to have good average age. You want to have average age of your credit history, probably a little bit more than 4 years, right? You want to have a good credit mix. So that's like auto loans, home loans, bills, things of that nature, right? You want to have low utilization. Everybody says to have utilization below 30%. Ideally, you want to have it below 10%, right? And then you want to have no late payments. That's crucial. You do not like work out whatever payment plan you have with your processor or whatever. You don't want to have late payments because then obviously you're more risk, right? So once you have a solid, and there's tons of different ways to build out a credit profile, right? If you have a really high utilization, obviously pay them, right? Or you can use a website like kickoff.com. Kickoff.com will actually add a $750 line of credit onto your credit profile that's only used for their products, but there's only two ways to decrease utilization, right? Increase your limit or decrease your spending. That's it, right? So Kickoff will actually decrease your limit for you, right? With inquiries, easy. You can go on Experian right now, dispute off inquiries, they'll get them off. TransUnion, Equifax is a little bit more difficult. With Credit Mix, you can go to Navy Federal, get a pledge loan. And this is just a play that everybody can do, right? So you can go and get a pledge loan. Pledge loan, the way a pledge loan works is that you put up collateral, right? So say, for example, you have a car's worth $25,000, you get a pledge loan of $25,000, right? So then what you'll go ahead and do is you'll pay off 95%. You'll get the money, pay off 95%. So now you have a loan on your credit profile reflected at 95%. That's huge. Huge, right?
Yeah.
So these are all things that people can build up. But what I like to do when I'm getting credit cards, you do essentially a round of funding, right? So there's 3 credit bureaus, right? Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, right? What you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna get a credit card from each bureau. So for example, Chase pulls from Experian, right? You can get a Barclays Aviator, they pull from TransUnion. So Chase Experian, Chase Experian, Barclays Aviator, TransUnion, and you could get a City Premier, that's Equifax, right? Each inquiry does not impact the next because they're all 3 separate bureaus, right? It's kind of like asking your mom for ice cream and then not telling your mom, then you go ask for your dad, right? So they don't interact with each other, right? So then you can literally have all 3 tabs open up on your computer, bop, 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 submit, and then you're getting 3 credit cards for 1 inquiry. So say, for example, right, you get $10,000 each, that's $30,000, right? Again, based on your credit profile, right? Your strength, whatever the case may be. And you want to liquidate it. Now, liquidating, like, it's very, very easy, especially nowadays, to liquidate a credit card. They have websites like plastique.com, right? PLASTIQ.com. That's one of the easiest ways. Another thing is you can use a merchant processor like Stripe, QuickBooks, or Square, where you can send somebody like yourself an invoice. Like say, for example, I have a $25,000 credit card. I come to you, Ash, yo, I got to get this money off. All right, B, I'm going to send you a $25,000 invoice. The money's going to drop in your account in 2 days, minus the 2.9%, and you'll just wire it back to me. That's the quickest way to do it. That's the quickest way to do it, right? Another way is that you can do a balance transfer, but you have to have a bank account with that same credit card, right? So if you have a Chase in credit card and then you have a Chase bank account, you can do a balance transfer, but balance transfer fees are very expensive, right? Another way you can do it, you can go to Western Union, get money orders, things like that, you pay the dollar. Or if you had a lot of time, you could, there's so many different ways you can do it. That's why when people tell me like, how can I liquidate a credit card? I'm just like, pick one. Right? There's tons of different ways you can do it. It's like the least of your worries, right? But one thing I would say about the Stripe process, though, you want to make sure it's a seasoned account. You don't want to risk. Don't do this with PayPal.
Right.
Don't do this with PayPal.
Facts.
PayPal will lock your money up.
Lock it up.
You'll never see it again. Kiss it goodbye.
Facts.
So you would liquidate that money. Then when the money's in your account, like I mentioned, you're going to go to landlord, moving costs, 1 month rent, 1 month security. Sometimes they ask for 2 months security. Security deposit, you get that back. So it's not even a big deal. And then with your contractors, for your repairs and things like that, again, you already have the money in the account sitting there. You pay them out, you get the ball rolling. It's that simple. And I always recommend people when they get into the event-based game to lease. Don't buy. Because the thing about it is that when you buy, you're going to have to put 20-25% down, right? When you're leasing, like I said, you're only putting 1 month rent, 1 month security. So if your rent is $3,000, you're only paying $6,000 to get the spot. Imagine you paying $6,000 to get a spot once. You put another $5,000, get your furniture, whatever. Now you all in $10,000, right? Now you go and you build it out, say that's another $10,000, that's $20,000, right? These are realistic numbers. I have done this myself, right? In New York. And you know how expensive New York is.
Absolutely.
People be finding me on YouTube and they be like, yo, he did this in New York. If you could make it in New York, what? You can make it anywhere, bro. Anywhere.
Yo, it's so crazy because same thing, right? I'm looking for an event space to shoot content. And when I start seeing the prices for I say, yo, you know, I'm from NY. So I'm thinking I'm about to drop $5,000 a month, $6,000, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000. I said, what?
Yeah, they head cracking.
Are you? No, it's fine.
Hey, bro, and and you talked about like how event space is the best asset class, bro. Would you believe me if I told you I made $75,000 in 3 weeks this month? I haven't seen my spaces in 3 months.
Wow.
I don't go there. I don't. I travel too much.
Wow.
I was in Dubai a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna be in Italy in a couple months. Like I travel way too much.
Yeah.
I don't go to my event space at all, and they still cash flow. I literally, bro, I could be on my phone right now. I post it on my stories every single day.
Yeah.
Cash App, Zelle, Cash
Yeah.
App, Zelle, Cash
Yeah.
App, Zelle. Sitting here talking to you, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000.
And how do you how does that happen, right? Because obviously you had to build up to that. But you obviously have like a system, like you've been able to automate that.
Yeah.
Talk about some of that system that you have, because I want to break away, like anybody who's watching this, I want to break any excuse they ever have for why they're not living the life they're supposed to be living, right? Because I truly believe, like we said earlier, this is the best time to make money. But then this is also, I believe, an obligation, right, on people, because I feel like when good people make money, they could do more good in the world. You know what I'm saying? You talked a little bit earlier, again, behind the scenes, about a conversation you had and why you want to pour in to people. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love live events, right?
Yeah.
I just had a networking event in New York. Shout out everybody who came out. Like 200 people came out,
Yeah.
right? And we promoted for like a week.
Yeah.
200 people came out, and it was absolutely amazing, because I just love to see, like, it's one thing to be on a class or a Zoom or whatever the case may be, and like you see everybody drop it in the chat,
Right,
like, you know what I'm
right.
saying? But when I get to shake the hands of families that I get to really touch, and they look at me and they're just like, yo, because of you, I made $25,000 a month with my event space, and I could send my daughter to a better school.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because I made $50,000 a month, I got a student, right, named Rich. Family man, hardworking man, was working at his job, regular guy, right? He tapped in with me. He got into the mentorship program. Took a little convincing, but you know what I'm saying? If you're not selling them, you're hurting them, right? So he got into the program and everything like that. I taught him about automations with VAs, systems, the programs that we use, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Every other month, this man travels to another country now.
Wow.
He just came back from Colombia, Antigua,
Wow.
a cruise,
Yeah.
with his whole entire family.
Wow.
How many men can say that they can do that? 99% of America cannot do that.
Right. Yeah.
And the way he thinks now, it's so interesting the way you think about money when you are receiving it. Because typically we're taught to think of things as, all right, cool, I want to buy this new PlayStation. I need to work for 2 hours.
Right.
I need to work for 2 weeks. This is 2 pay cycles, whatever the case may be. When you're in entrepreneurship, I want to go on a $20,000 trip to Turks and Caicos. All right, that's 4 or 5 packages.
Yo, that's crazy. You say that.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, facts.
But you have to build those opportunities, and you have to invest in yourself. Like one of my guys, Alex Harmozy, said, he's like, I'm not investing in the S&P 500. I'm investing in the SME 500.
Facts, yeah.
Because any dollar that I put into myself, I'm going to get back 10x, 100x, 1,000x.
Yeah.
I spent over $220,000 on my personal development last year. It made me 1.3 mil.
Yeah.
Off one business.
Right.
So, like, is the feds watching? No.
What money?
What money? You feel me? So when you do these live events, you get to really see the impact that you get to do, and that's one of my goals. I will be doing a networking event every single month. Actually, I have one in Atlanta this week.
Yeah.
Just touching people is just literally.
And so now let's shift a little bit to our fellas out here. Or let's shift to the fellas, because you believe that as you are making all this money, you should be, or before you even making money, you should be in the clubs popping bottles. You believe that?
Nah.
What's your take? You say you got to reach a certain amount of money to even, like, you shouldn't even be focusing on girls.
You got to be on a certain tax bracket before you start trying to break backs. Respectfully, like you gotta level up, because I feel like a lot of dudes.
Wait, hold on. You said, step your tax bracket up, B. Before you start breaking backs, step your tax bracket up. Talk to us. You talking spicy. They gonna come at you, man.
Hey, I'm ready for the smoke,
Yes,
man. Because I feel like I truly believe in what I'm saying, because this is something that I've done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like from the time I got my first space to the time where we made $3 million or whatever case may be. I was locked in. I wasn't really fraternizing too much. I wasn't going out too much because I was building a business.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people, man or woman, have it backwards, because they feel like, I'm trying to get some cheeks. I'm trying to be out here. I'm trying to be in these streets popping bottle Casamigos. And I'm just like, for what? What are you celebrating? What are you celebrating? You have a 600 credit score and $300 to your name. What are you celebrating, my boy? And then the craziest thing about it is that a lot of these dudes, they be on dates trying to like court women, things like that, and you ask them to split the bill? Brokey. What are you talking about right now, bro? Respectfully, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't see it because it's so, lock in for 6 months.
Yeah.
Lock in for 6 months. Put all the women aside. Put all the games aside. Just lock in on your business. Find one skill and just hone it. And then you can start thinking about it. Once you get your tax bracket up, you can start thinking about breaking backs. But until then, you need to get yourself situated.
Yeah.
You need to get yourself right. How are you supposed to be taking care of a woman, taking care of a family? You ain't even got no money to your name.
Facts.
You don't even know how credit work.
Facts. Yeah. Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, and I think that's important, right? Because again, I think that, you know, what you focus on is what you get.
What you
right?
measure grows.
And so if you're focusing on you know, relationships and trying to you know, be whole, like using somebody else to be whole, then you'll never have control, full financial freedom, right? But if you're like, you know what, let me focus on myself. Let me become a whole person. Both, like you said, man and woman, let me become a whole person, which also is based on what you could provide for yourself. Because once you're able to provide for yourself, then when you come into a relationship, now there becomes this interdependence where y'all not dependent on each other, but y'all could become more powerful, and nobody is you know, leaning on anybody else. Is like not this crutch, right? And so let's talk too, right? Because what's your thoughts on now this introduction of AI, right? Because I feel like you know, with artificial intelligence, like how has that made life easier for the entrepreneur?
Yeah, absolutely. So technology, the sole purpose of technology is to do what? Make our lives easier, faster, better, stronger, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why new technologies develop. So when artificial intelligence comes into play, yes, there is the risk of obviously, all right, cool, this could come and, like you said, the movie Demolition Day or something that could come in and completely wipe out the world. Are we there yet? I don't think so. Is it impossible? Who knows?
Right.
But the thing about it, for right now and for the near future, it is here to make our lives easier. So for example, ChatGPT, the first AI, literally grew to like 5 million users in a week or something like that. And because why? It made AI accessible, one, for free, and two, easily, because it came in the form of text.
Yep.
So now I can literally be in my, like literally last night I landed in my hotel room and I'm just like, what's a great piece of content I can post that's gonna get me 100,000 views tomorrow? And it's giving it to me. It's like, well, if you want to talk about business funding, if you want to talk about event space, you should think about it like this. You should create a story that's big. I'm just like, interesting.
Right.
But it really boils down to the type of prompts that, like, the
That's
prompts
important.
that you
Yep.
put in.
Yeah.
So it teaches you have to ask the right questions to get the right results.
Yeah.
So, and then that's only one. Then you have like Notion and Superhuman. These are AIs.
Yeah.
And these have been around for a while.
Yeah.
Asana, that's an AI. Like, you know what I'm saying? These are all different websites that just make the entrepreneur's life a lot easier. Like you said, you wrote a book in like
5 hours.
5 hours.
Crazy.
Imagine 100 years ago how long it would have taken.
Facts.
10 years ago how long it would have taken to do a book. So
Yeah.
I think those who embrace change, and this is with everything, those who embrace change, welcome change, and will be changed.
Yeah.
Those who are resistant to it, those who are hesitant to change, they're gonna die out.
So let me ask you though. So like, how do you change somebody's mindset, right? Somebody who you know, is indoctrinated by the quote unquote real world, right? Because like there's people who, you know, I used to try to convince people. I'm like, yo, I'm from the projects. Like I didn't have no money growing up. I live a great life. I could do whatever. I'm talking about like no restriction. I could do whatever I want at any moment that I want it. And I'm trying to use me as an example. But people fight for their limitations. Like people try to find reasons why they can't live fully in abundance. How do you change that person's mindset? And this is why I love having this conversation with you, because I'm like, man, this is a young guy, 27 years old, from New York City, who's could do anything he wants at any moment. But what is that first step to like shifting that mindset?
Exposure. Exposure and environment. A lot of people, they don't see it, so they can't seize it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like if all I know every single day is gun busting and women and popping bottles and things like that, that's all I know and that's all I have to live for.
Yeah.
But if I see that's why I love watching, like, dude, I literally took the music app out my phone and just put the podcast out.
Wow.
Because I learned that being exposed to so many other people doing so many different things, so many remarkable things at young age, old age, whatever, it really shows you what's possible.
Yeah.
And a lot of this information is free. I can go and listen to Ash Cash podcast right now on my phone for free.
100%.
So there's no excuse, which is why I said from the very beginning, if you're 20 to 30 and you're not making money, it's because you just don't want it.
Right.
You focusing on the wrong things, bucko.
Right.
So the number one thing is environment. And if you don't have the money to go to a mastermind, to tap in with whatever you see got going on, things like that, you can go online, you can go on YouTube, unfollow. Can I go in for a second?
Go in, brother.
If you're 22, 30 and you're a man, unfollow all the baddies. Unfollow all the baddies right now. Like this is, I'm just hear me out. I know you don't know me. My name is Brian Waldron. This is something I've done. I'm telling you. Unfollow all the baddies. Unfollow everybody on social media who is not pouring into you, who is not helping you grow, helping you learn, helping you earn. Only follow entrepreneurs, finance pages, things like that. When you learn, you earn. You want to cultivate your mindset. And as you get older, it gets a lot harder. So I'm telling you, all my brothers, all my sisters, start now. Your future self will thank you. I will thank you for you now. But start now. That's part of the reason I started my YouTube channel, because I want to leave it as literally not even a legacy, because I honestly, I think legacy is a little bit overrated. But I want to leave it as almost like a blueprint for the future generations. Like, all right, cool. Look, listen, this is somebody who's scaled their business to $100 million.
Yep.
This is everything that I've done. These are all the books that I've read. These are all the systems. These are all the masterminds I've joined.
Yep.
Follow the blueprint.
Yep.
And make it better.
Yeah.
Because it's like people like you and EYL, you guys walk so we can run. 100%. I want to do the same thing. I want to run so other people can fly.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But starts by encapsulating that information and documenting the process, so that other people can go and just heed the blueprint.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I said, if you're in this time period right now, it's only going to get harder. So take this time now to really just nurture your mindset and protect your well-being, protect your soul, protect your mata,
100%.
for real. Because the thing about it is like what you put into your head is going to impact you whether you realize it or not. Like I love all my rappers and my artists and things like that. But the fact of the matter is I spend more time listening to podcasts and YouTube videos of these entrepreneurs that are doing amazing things, because that's what I want to surround myself with. So when you tell me, Brian, how do I get people to realize that there's more to the life and things like that, they just got to see it.
Yeah.
They just got to see other people like them doing it. Once I seen another black man, Spanish man, minority, whatever the case may be, living a certain lifestyle, I'm just like, young?
Right, facts. Yeah,
I'm like, bro, it's possible.
Absolutely.
It's possible. And that's what all people need to see. People just need to see that it's possible.
Yeah. And what, how important is execution though, right? Because there has to be a balance between knowledge and like learning as much and being in these rooms and execution, because execution is that thing that gets you to that next level. Like how important is execution, and how do you balance the information with execution?
So there's a quote that I like that says you have a season of information and you have a season of execution. However, I would like to just tweak that, because the season of execution is all year round. You have to be in a constant, perpetual state of execution.
Yeah.
You can't learn and then execute. You need to constantly be iterating. I'm reading a book right now called Ready, Fire, Aim by Michael Masterson. And he talks about for those who want to get to, the 1 million mark, the 10 million mark, whatever the case may be, they need to be in a constant state of iteration.
Yeah.
You need to be constantly creating,
Yeah.
constantly recovering data.
Yeah.
I don't know if something's going to work unless I try it.
Facts.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the paint color is going to dry like until it dries. I got to paint the wall.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So execution is the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people, smart people, who they're just sitting on this information, they can regurgitate all this stuff. Oh yeah, I watched this, I read that, I did this, I do that. And all right, what do you have to show for it?
Yeah.
Mind you, there's going to be somebody else they're going to get one gem and they're going to run it to the ground.
Yeah.
Because that's just how they're built. So if you really want to take your life by the horns and run it up, you got to start putting things into place. Give yourself a habit. There's another book that I recommend called Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Oh, that's powerful.
And he talks about never miss twice.
Right.
If you didn't do something today, you can't miss twice. You can't let it elapse tomorrow either. Because the thing about it is then you started to build momentum. You go down a downward spiral. I just created a YouTube video on this. So it's extremely important to just build the habit of just putting things into place.
Yeah.
Just executing. And if you find yourself that you're not an executor, get around executors.
Right, facts. Yeah.
Environment.
Yeah.
Just get around executors.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now that you you have this automated business that that you're making great money from. What are some other business ventures that you've been able to take advantage of?
Absolutely, yeah. So while I have gotten into a couple other things like real estate, Airbnb, e-commerce, things of that nature, what I've learned, and this is gonna sound a bit contrarian, because everybody talks about millionaires got 7 streams of income, right?
Yeah.
Focus on one. Focus on one. If I could honestly do it all over again, like go back to 2021, I would just focus on one thing and just scale it to the moon. If I don't want to do it anymore, sell it, start something different. Because you can chase 2 rabbits, you're gonna catch neither one fast.
Wow.
I read another book called The One Thing, and by Gary Keller. There we go, Gary Keller. And it changed my mindset, and it made me realize that I was literally the brokest and the lowest in my entrepreneur career when I had the most streams of income. Could you believe that?
Wow. So you were the brokest and lowest.
I was the brokest and
you had
lowest
multiple
when I had
streams.
the most streams of income.
Wow.
And I remember sitting in my apartment and being like, yo, B, you have all these businesses. Why are you broke?
Wow.
And it's because my mindset had broke. I was spending all this mental energy, all this mental capacity trying to take care of all these different things, put out all these different fires that none of them could become a real flame. So
Wow.
I learned when I changed the mindset to just going all in, and just because you have one business doesn't mean you have to have only one stream of income.
Right.
Like even with the coaching program, we have several offers,
Yeah.
different mentorships, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But it's important not to spread yourself too thin. Like
Yeah.
I can't be having a clothing brand
Yeah.
and having real estate and having Airbnbs and having my event space and having my coaching and have my, like, it's too much.
Yeah.
There are people who do it.
Yeah.
But you have to be a real good team player. You have to be really, really good at team stacking. You have to be really, really good at setting up automations and SOPs, which I am.
Yeah.
But at this age where I'm trying to build my career, I don't want to do all that.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to really focus on one thing. So I have real estate. I have Airbnbs. I have e-commerce. I've dialed down a lot of those so I can focus on helping more people through our online program.
Yeah. And so like I mean you have Airbnb.
You can tell what you got.
right?
He's like, it's so.
No, because I want to dive in a little bit, right? Because I don't want people to miss this, right? When we talked about real estate earlier, Airbnb, obviously, if you buy or rent a place, rent arbitrage, you let other people rent it out, and there's restrictions to some of that. As somebody who has Airbnbs and somebody who has event spaces, you say that event space is better than Airbnb.
Way better, yeah.
Why?
Better. Yeah. I mean, overall, on a cash-on-cash return, right? If you put money into most Airbnb owners, and obviously they have different levels. They have luxe Airbnbs, they have condos, they have houses, things like that. Most Airbnb owners, when they're getting into the business, they typically do 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, maybe even a house. They're netting probably $3,000 to $5,000 a month, right? Where, mind you, they're paying $3,000 for a mortgage or whatever the case may be. They might be netting, like I said, another $3,000 to $5,000. These are numbers that I've seen. These are numbers that they brag about, things like that. I don't know if you, when I look at it, I'm like, are you bragging or are you complaining? But then we'll pay, like for example, right? We have one space. We pay $73.33 a month in rent. That same exact space just did $75,000 in a month.
Wow.
So when I look at the differences, because I have Airbnbs and I have event spaces, I'm just like, they're literally the same business model.
Right.
This just produces a lot more money.
Right.
And the thing about it is that I have somebody in my establishment for one night. One night.
Yeah.
They're spending 3, 4, 5 racks.
Right.
One night.
Right.
But this person's in my apartment for a week, and I got like $2,000. That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense to me. So that's why I dialed that down. And I'm just like, yo, I really just got to go big on my event space, which is why even now in 2023. My master plan is to partner with a lot of my students. So for example, right, we bought a building in Philadelphia. I have one of my students running it. I have another student who's doing about $25,000 a month in Atlanta right now, and we're going to be partnering and buying a building. And my goal is to build a McDonald's model. I'll own the property, and all my students own the real estate. So my goal with my program is to literally create the best entrepreneurs possible. So I give them everything.
Wow.
I want you to have all the banks. I want you to have all the credit cards. I want you to get the approvals. I want you to get the mentorships. I want you to get the bookings, because my goal is for you to make so much money that I can recognize you, give you your award, because we have 25K a month, 50K a month, and 100K a month award where you fly out to New York and I give it to you personally. So I want you to be so good at what you do that I have to look at you and be like, yo, we need to make money together. I want to make money with you.
Yeah.
I have a student making $50,000 in Boston. I want to make money with you.
Right.
I don't want to do it.
Right.
But I want to make money with you.
Right.
I don't want to run the business anymore, but I want to make money with you.
Right.
So my goal is to make our students so dangerous and so good by empowering them with everything that they have no choice but to be successful and we can make money together. Yeah. That's it.
Wow. And so what are the risks involved though with owning an event space, right? Because I could hear somebody right now listening and when you said I pay $73 a month for this rent, they cringe. Because their rent is $500, their rent is $1,000, their rent is $3,000, right?
Yeah.
At the maximum, there's somebody renting right now where they live for $3,000. There's somebody who has a mortgage, right? They're paying $3,000. So when they hear that they're renting for $73, there's this correlation between the two, and now they just clinched up and they're afraid. So what risks are involved with becoming doing event spaces?
Absolutely. So in the streets they call me the objection destroyer. You feel me? So I literally love just debunking all these things. The hardest things that you're gonna run into with your event space, and I actually talk about this in my classes, is finding it, funding it, and filling it. Those are the three hardest things you're gonna run into. When it comes to finding your event space, I already gave you all the websites: Crexi, LoopNet, and Craigslist. If you contact 10 to 20 realtors a week, go on 3 to 5 site visits a week, which is you're going to visit the space, and you use the list of questions that we have available to our community, you will find a space in 30 to 60 days. As long as you do that. That's the formula. That's all you have to do. 10 to 20 realtors a week, 3 to 5 site visits a week, you will find a space in 30 to 60 days. Guaranteed. Tell it. Believe it.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes to funding it, I already gave all the bank plays. I already gave all the credit cards, right? You get a Chase Inc. You can get American Express Blue Business Cash. You can get a Discover It Cash Back. You can get a Citi Double Cash. For banks, you can go to Key Bank. You get a Truist. You get a loan $50,000 at Navy Federal. Easy. Off of LLC. Like, it's so simple. And then all you need is like a 680. If you don't have a 680, go to a credit repair company. Like, there's no excuses, right? When it comes to filling it, right? We believe heavily in organic traffic. I just had 12 open house appointments yesterday. I wasn't even there.
Wow.
12 open house appointments. So now we're using organic traffic like Instagram and TikTok. If you don't know how to do that, then you can run Facebook ads. If you don't know how to do that, you can put on Peerspace. If you don't know how to do that, you can do Gigster. You don't know how to do that, you can put on Splacer. If you don't know how to do that, you can do direct mail. Like, there's tons of different ways to do it. If you don't know how to do that, you can list it on Craigslist. Like, there's so many different ways, but I feel like just so many people are just impatient.
Yeah.
And they don't believe in running a business and setting up a business that pays them like a business. They just want another job.
Right.
I never got into business to give myself another job. I wanted to build it so that I could retire my mom, which I did this year.
Wow.
Right. I literally had a conversation with my tax account. I was just like, how are you going to handle this? Am I going to have to 1099 my mom? Like, I don't want to do that, but I wanted to, like, my event spaces did that for me.
Yeah.
I barely saw my mom until I was 12 years old because she was always working.
Wow.
My mom came into this country when she was 24 years old with $100 in her pocket, and she did phenomenal for herself. But growing up, I barely saw her because she was always working. And for the fact, and for the large amount of first generation Americans, this is the harsh reality.
Yeah.
I didn't want that for my kids, and I didn't want that for my family. And I'm so glad, and I'm so humbled, and I'm so blessed that I can now, in my mom's later years, be able to retire her so she can relax. But I didn't want that same future for myself. So now I have a business that can literally pay for an entire vacation for my family in just a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I want to empower other people to do the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? So we have... So those are the only objections you're going to run into: finding your space, funding your space, filling your space, and that's the blueprint on how to get around all three.
Wow. And like, because it sounds so easy, right? It does. And I know it's easy, right? Because I'm somebody who have taken what a normal person would think is risk, which is it's riskier to keep living the life that you're living.
Woo! Say it again.
It's riskier to keep living the life that you're living. Like, if you are living paycheck to paycheck, 9 to 5, a parent with kids, or even if you don't have kids, your livelihood, you do not control your livelihood. Like, your livelihood is in the hands of somebody else that at any moment, right? And when I say somebody else, I don't even mean, because when I say your livelihood is in jeopardy, a lot of people think, well, I work for a good company. I love my boss. That's not even the only, like, you think about the economy, you think about like COVID. Nobody could have, all the people who love their jobs could not foresee that COVID was going to happen. And even with them not foreseeing that, it happened, and it shook a lot of lives, right? And so what are some ways that you are, I wouldn't say safeguarding, right? But like, how do you make sure that you are recession proof, if you will?
Oh yeah, 100%. So recession proof is the name of the game.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the biggest things that we actually put in our models, and we're currently developing a software right now to actually make this almost instantaneous. Because I like I said, my goal is to make it so dummy proof for people to come into this business and see the same success that we have and some of my other students have had. So one of the key things that we do is we make sure that we have other businesses renting our business in downtime. So for example, right, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night is ideally the times that you'd book an event space, right? Yeah. But what about all the other times? What about Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning? What about Monday through Thursday, right? So now we're getting churches in our venues. We're getting art galleries in our venues, fitness trainers, dance centers. I have a church paying me $1,800 a month. Now, keep that number at the top, right? 7,300, 7,333. Yeah. That rent, right? Now that's subsidized by $1,800 a month for one church. I have another church that pays me $400 a week. I had a dance class that pays me $450 a week to use the space every Tuesday and Thursday. I'm still working on getting a fitness trainer at a dance center, but because we have porcelain floors, so I don't really want to run that risk. Yeah. But if you have laminate floors or LVT, you can do that. You can get a dance center. You can get those movable mirrors. You can get a fitness trainer in there. And now these are all people who are paying you every single week. So now your rent just got cut in half, just got cut in thirds, just got cut in fourth, just by having other businesses who don't want to take on their own rent, just using your space. Right. It's a clean space. It looks good, right? Right. They just want to use it on the off days. Right. So it's a win-win for everybody. So we're actually in our program, we're actually working on a process to automate this so that literally every single person who comes into the program, they have a whole bunch of vendors that just rent their space. So they don't even have to worry about the rent. They don't even have to pay it themselves. Wow.
Yeah, I can't even think of no other excuses, man. Like I think you literally debunked every excuse. Anybody watching this?
Nah, there is one more excuse.
All right, talk to me.
There is one more excuse, right? There is one more excuse. The excuse that you think that you're not enough. Because that's the only thing that really gets into some people's way. They think that I'm just not going to make it. Like, I'm somebody different. You're somebody different. Yeah. God made us any different than anybody else. Wow. We're all born the same. Wow. We're all, God never looked at anybody and been like, oh, this is an average baby. This is an average baby. We're all extraordinary. Facts. We all have skills. You have skills that I don't have. I have skills that you don't have. Facts. We're all skilled. Yeah. But which is why I like to spend a little portion on mindset, because at a certain time, you have to understand, you have to believe that you're enough. Yeah. Somebody, like, all my students who have great success in our program, it's not that they would have never achieved success. I just helped them get there faster. Yeah. It's not that they would have never made that kind of money. I just helped them get there faster. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, whether I'm so behind investing in mentorship simply because it has helped me achieve new heights in a record speed. Yeah. You find somebody who's doing something amazing and they help you do something amazing as well. So at the end of the day, we can give you all the hacks, we can give you all the banks, all the credit cards, all the plays, all the websites, whatever the case may be. But if you don't think that you're enough, it's nothing is gonna happen. Nothing is gonna happen. Yeah. You have to at a certain point just pull the trigger and be like, yo, I'm gonna do it. Yo. I'm tired of being tired. Yeah. I'm tired of being regular. I'm tired of being average. I don't want to go back to work on Monday. Yeah. And I see this, and I see people every single day. They're tired and they're worn out, but they haven't made a decision to change in the past 4, 5, 6 years. Yeah. When does tired become tired? When does enough become enough? I got sick. That choice got taken from me because I got fired from my job. Yeah. I didn't have the choice of being tired. I got fired. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when I look at my mom, I'm like, yo, my mom is tired. She don't need to do this no more. Mom, you're not going back to work on Monday. Yeah. It's done. Yeah. What? What you mean is that it's done? Like, we're done. Yeah. I got a wire schedule to send you out every single month. Yeah. Wow. Automatic. Yeah. You gotta be sick.
How does that feel? How does that feel to you? Like being able to do that, like knowing, that your mom sacrificed for you, and like she did all that she could, and now like here you retired, you're in your 20s, you're able to like really watch your mom like pay her back, if you will. You know what I'm saying?
It's a relief.
Yeah,
it's a relief. Because the thing about it, it's kind of like as entrepreneurs, a lot of times we're trying to figure things out. And I didn't think that I would be able to. There was a certain level of imposter syndrome because I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Like, because Morgan, like, we started off, I'm not going to tell y'all where we're at now, but I started off sending $6,000 a month. Sending $6,000 a month.
Wow.
So where we're at now, it's now that she's fully retired, it's a little bit more than that. But at the beginning, I was just like, I don't know if I was going to do that. But you know what? It's crazy what happens when you just kind of let your belief in yourself take over. Because once I told myself, like, there's no other choice. I got to make it happen or it's not going to happen. Yeah. It started to happen. Yeah. And now that's why I say, like, it's kind of like a sense of relief. It's like, she's okay. Yeah. She's okay. Like, I got it. Because I'm my family's plan A. Right. I'm my family's plan B. Right. Plan C, plan D through F. Yeah. I can't fumble. Right. And although that's a lot of pressure, it's also like it's invigorating and it's empowering. Yeah. Because I know that God gives his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers. Yeah. And I would not be in the position to wield the kind of ability that I have if I was not capable of withholding it. Yeah. Yeah. So I hold it like a mantle. I hold it like a trophy. I hold it like with a sense of pride, just like baby boy got us.
And so if I hear you correctly, anybody who after hearing this makes an excuse, they have to look deep into themselves. They have to ask themselves, why don't they think they're worthy? And they need to tell themselves that they are enough, that they are worthy, that they deserve, all the abundance that life that's reserved for them. Because that's the thing. I don't think people understand that abundance is actually reserved for you. Like nobody can't take your, like I can't take what God got for you, and you can't take what God got for me. Like there's more than enough. There's more than enough, and that there's abundance reserved. We just got to allow it and stop fighting it, because that's been my biggest issue. And that's why I say, abundance is your birthright. You can have an abundance of abundance, or you can have an abundance of lack. That's your will. Wow. Right? So there might be people, like I know people who enjoy drama. Like they want to struggle. They want to live, they want to live a life of non-peace. And that's your choice. But for those who do want to live in abundance, to enjoy what life has, all you got to do is allow it. All you got to do is say, you know what? I'm just allowing it. I'm not going to fight this no more. You have
that gave me chills just now. That gave me chills just
now. You have a free masterclass that you want people to attend, which again I appreciate you because you in order to, when you're blessed, this is what I believe when you're blessed, it's an obligation to be a blessing.
100%.
And so I wake up every day and I always ask, how can I serve you? I'm asking God. I say, God, how can I serve you? And God is always pointing me towards people, because God is within everybody. So you cannot serve God without serving people, right? And I know you have a similar heart where you're blessed, and because of that blessing or being blessed, you aim to be a blessing to others, and you're providing free. Like nobody has to pay for anything.
I would even change that to say, I think personally that I think it's to an extent backwards. I think I have been blessed because I've been a blessing to other people, or at least have tried to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, God sees my heart and he's just like, all right, cool. Like, because, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people with ill intent, things like that. But it's just like when you genuinely want to see other people win, I think it comes back to you tenfold. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like there's so many people who, when I started in this game, they would not give out the information. Right. I give it out for free all the time. all the like everywhere,
Yeah.
and our business is still growing.
Yeah, I'll talk to that actually because there's no coincidence that I'm starting to see a lot of the gatekeepers lose their position, right? Like literally, it's a marathon, and I think that there was a lot of people up. A lot of people trying to be gatekeepers. A lot of people thought they had they was on solid footing, but they didn't have the right intentions. And I'm starting to notice, and I don't wish harm on nobody. I'm just an observer of the game, and I'm realizing that while there's certain people that are still rising and still getting to that next level, there are a group of people who were the gatekeepers at one time. But now, you know what I mean? Damn, homie, high school, you was the man.
You was the man. You was the man, homie.
What happened? And I was
What
like,
happened? Damn, homie.
you know what I'm saying? But talk about that masterclass. Like, talk about
Yeah, absolutely.
that
So,
masterclass.
and this is something I want to really put on exclusively for your community.
Yes.
So everybody who comes through the Inside the Vault community, I want to make sure that they get tapped into our masterclass for free. It's at no cost. All they got to do is go to myfirsteventspace.com. They're going to be able to register. They're going to be able to lock in for free and join the masterclass. I'm dropping easily well over 2 hours a game.
Facts.
On finding the event space. Like if you thought this was heat, like
Yeah,
I go into
and I
event.
was gonna say though, right? Like you literally, I mean, you talk fast, so y'all gonna have to please rewind this. Bad boys behind this. You gonna have to rewind this and I was sitting here like, yo, this dude really just gave all the sauce away, but it's not all the sauce. There's more. And so I was shocked. I was like, yo, this dude gave out everything. So I think even from this interview, like y'all need to share this interview with everybody. Y'all need to tell and run the plays though. But then before you even run the play, matter of fact, tell them about the masterclass again.
Yeah, absolutely. So all you got to do is tap into myfirsteventspace.com. I'm going to lock you in with a free seat at no cost. My man Ash Cash, this is my guy, so I'm going to make sure everybody who comes through his community is going to get a seat at no cost. All you got to do is go to myfirsteventspace.com, and we're going to tap you in.
Yo, so right now, 27-year-old, Brian Waldron, billionaire B, multi-millionaire. Did I say that already? Multi-millionaire, 27 years old.
Chill. The feds is watching,
Yo,
bro.
too much money ain't enough money. I know the feds watching. What money? If you could go back to your 18-year-old self, knowing everything you know now, and you could go and talk to 18-year-old Brian, what advice are you giving him?
Focus on one thing. 100% focus on one thing. Stop getting distracted.
Yeah.
Because distraction is what kills success. Ooh. A lot of times we're 18, 25, 30, and we're trying to figure things out. Stick with one thing and just make it happen. Because there are people who make millions of dollars in real estate. There's people who make millions of dollars in toilet paper. It's the same millions of dollars. So
say that.
There's people who make millions of dollars in real estate, and there's people who make millions of dollars selling toilet paper. It's the same millions of dollars. It both hits the Chase account the same way. You know what I'm saying? So if I would, I did that, and I was guilty of that when I was coming up in my young, my manhood or whatever the case may be, just kind of switching, just kind of looking for, and whenever people ask me the question, is that a good business? Or I hear that's a good business, I know this is somebody who doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Because there's no such thing as a good business. There's no such thing as a bad business. There's people who make millions of dollars selling plants, selling TVs, selling microphones.
Yeah.
It's, are you a good business person? And are you willing to do what it takes every single day in, day out to be consistent to the grind, dedicated to the grind to see this throughout. So if I was going back to my 18-year-old self, I'd just be like, yo, stick to the plan. That's it.
And stick it to the plan. At what point do you decide whether that plan is working, or do you just stick to it regardless? Like, do you say, all right, event spaces and that's it, and I'm gonna go hard, and even if things are going up, down, whatever, I'm gonna focus on it? Like, at what point do you retreat? At what point do you say, you know what, I don't think this is gonna work?
So I would say retreat when it's definitely something that's just not fulfilling to you.
Yeah.
If you feel like it's something that like you get into it and it's just genuinely conflicting with your inner energy and aura, then absolutely get out. But I would just say the timeline is 3 months. The timeline is 3 months. Give yourself 3 months to do something. If you want to go into photography or whatever, give it 3 months. Give it a solid 3 months. Grind it out for 90 days. Put out a piece of content every single day, right?
Yeah.
And see if this is something that you like. If it's not something that you like, and then of course while you're going through the phases, make sure you're collecting data.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool. Am I getting clients? Everything's traffic and conversions. Am I getting clients? Am I getting business? Am I getting whatever the case may be? And just measure that for 3 months. And if you feel at a certain point that you're unfulfilled and this is not something that you want to get into, because I'll be very, very transparent. There were times when I wanted to quit my events-based business. When I had ACs blow out in the middle of summer, when I had sewer back up 3 inches before an event, there are plenty of times I wanted to give up and just be like, yo, screw this, but I'm glad I never did.
Yeah.
Because business is inherently not easy.
Yeah.
But it's easy for those who put in the work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when I say like, oh yeah, running events is easy, it's not necessarily because it's easy. It's because I've done the work.
Yeah.
And those who don't do the work are going to make everything difficult.
Yeah.
There are a lot of businesses that are very, very simple. There are a lot of businesses that are very, very complex. But the people who always make it more difficult and don't make money are the ones that always make it complex. So give it 3 months. If it's unfulfilling to you, get out of it. But just give it some time and just stick to the plan.
I love it. And then my last question or questions with being a young multimillionaire, what has been the most extravagant thing that you've done with money so far?
Probably very lavish vacations.
Yeah.
I'm not a very materialistic person.
Yeah.
I'm in the interview in a $20 flannel and Crocs. I just don't really, but like I used to be like that in high school, like, oh yeah, Supreme, this, like, and all this like extra stuff. Now I believe in, we're never going to be this young again. So I would rather pay for, a $300 steak or a $20,000 vacation and build solid memories than, a piece of clothing or whatnot that's just not going to matter a year from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
H&M tees, $6.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in terms of lavish,
But when you want to get drippy, you get drippy though.
I can,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
100%,
yeah.
100%. But for 9 times out of 10, like I'm at the crib in a regular.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, in terms of honestly, the most extravagant to me is probably the property that I've purchased.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that's just going, just going to stay there. And it's going to live for me forever and ever.
Yeah.
But definitely vacations. Like
Yeah.
I've been kicking up in travel a little bit like that. I went to Dubai a couple weeks ago, Turks and Caicos, Costa Rica, Jamaica. I'm being in Italy in a couple months. So I'm definitely, those are memories that don't go anywhere.
Nice. And then besides retiring your mom, what would you say the next most impactful thing you've done with money has been?
That I've done or that I want to do?
I take both. Abundance is my birthright, so I want both.
That I've done so far is been able to empower people to make upwards of $50,000 in a month and like see the direct correlation. Like this is somebody who used to work at a job and now this is somebody who travels every other month.
Yeah.
This is somebody who didn't know what school they were sending their kid to now sending their kid to private school.
Yeah.
Like that's when people send me DMs every single day. I have an album with like literally over 500 testimonials. When people send me these messages like, yo, because of you, I was able to get my space. Because of you, I make $10,000 a month now. Because of you, I left my job. It's just like I said, I feel like I'm blessed now because I've been a blessing. Like I've took the time to help other people along the way. Because it's one thing to run up the ladder. It's another thing to reach your hand down and help other people get up too. And I feel like that's what I really pride myself on because I remember how it was when nobody would help. When everybody's just gatekeeping, right? And then going forward, what my next thing would be is to just have a student in every state in the country just running the play.
Wow.
And just partnering with one person in every single state in the country because there's money all over the country and even international. I've got mentees in Toronto, Montreal, Canada, Australia, London running the play. So we can really just bring this thing global.
Yeah.
So just empowering more and more families to just be able to be more wealthy.
All right, y'all. Billionaire B just crushed every single excuse you ever had in your life about living in true abundance. Make sure y'all tap in with his free masterclass where he's going to teach you everything you need to know. There's no longer an excuse. There's no longer a reason. Unless you are okay with where you are, you need to tap into my guy. If if people want to follow you, they want to connect with you, where can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. All you got to do is go to Instagram at Billionaire B. I got that IG name now.
That's it, Billionaire B. All right, y'all. We are closing out the vault. Another awesome episode of Inside the Vault, the greatest money mindset show on the planet. Make sure you follow us. Go to our website, InsideTheVaultShow.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at Inside the Vault. Me, I am Ash Cash. Make sure you visit me, IamAshCash.com. Follow me on all social media platforms at I am Ash Cash. Also, make sure y'all tap into the Abundance community. Every episode, we have behind the scenes, right? We have behind the scenes footage of, exclusive things that only our insiders can see. So make sure y'all tap into the Abundance community. Go to abundancecommunity.org and join us where abundance is your birthright. We help you live in abundance. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. We will see you next time, same place, in God's will for another awesome episode. I'll see y'all next time, y'all. Peace.